What's up, folks? I'm Chris, your MLB writer at Occupy Fantasy, here with a look at the 13-game main slate in MLB DFS on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo for Friday, July 15th. We have another chance to play a starting pitcher against a heavily depleted Kansas City Royals lineup with nearly 40% of their active roster unavailable to play in Toronto because they are unvaccinated. Alek Manoah is the number one pitcher in our model tonight against the Royals. Manoah does not have a ton of strikeout upside in our pitcher model, projects for just under a strikeout per inning, but he's a heavy minus 375 moneyline favorite in this spot against the Royals. Now, obviously, this spot can fail. Did a little bit last night with Gausman, but we do think Manoah is in a really strong spot to succeed here, but only just a tenth of a point higher than Brandon Woodruff, who has immense strikeout upside against the San Francisco Giants tonight. So I would certainly try to potentially find ways to play both of these guys on DraftKings. And then over on the FanDuel side of things, it does seem like obviously Manoah is a safer bet for a win and a quality start based off of what the betting markets are telling us. But Woodruff and that strikeout upside is hard to ignore here against San Francisco, who is a above average strikeout offense over the last 30 days of play. Now, another pitcher that I am super interested in, Clayton Kershaw. I'm going to continue to target the strikeout heavy Los Angeles Angels with starting pitchers, particularly high quality starting pitchers, for as long as this run lasts. The Angels are still striking out at the highest rate in baseball overall over the last 30 days of play. So that's really good news for the veteran lefty here for the Dodgers. Kershaw, minus 186 moneyline favorite. Kershaw projecting for 1.15 strikeouts per inning. That looks like the third highest total in our model this evening. So we certainly like that quite a bit with a 16 OF index. Now, Robbie Ray against Texas Rangers. He is favored here for Seattle. Like Kershaw, a little bit of line movement against him. Strikeout projection a little lower than Kershaw's this evening. All of these pitchers at the top here have excellent recent batted ball data, so that means they're all in pretty good recent form. So all four of these guys are very good plays to consider this evening. I would lean towards Ray and I guess Kershaw to a degree as a little bit more high risk than the two above him, Manoah and Woodruff. We can trust our model on that one. Hunter Green allows just about 2.5 home runs per 9 innings. It's at 2.32 over the last year of his outings and has an astronomically high 5.7 ERA in that time frame. So his outings can get blown up very quickly if he gives up some home runs, and he's facing a pretty potent St. Louis lineup tonight. So he's definitely high risk only, even though the strikeouts could be there. We always like to look at the worst ranked starting pitchers in our model and figure out who we would like to stack. It is another Coors Field slate tonight, so it shouldn't be any surprise that Jose Quintana of the Pirates facing the Rockies at Coors Field is someone that we're interested in targeting tonight. His batted ball data is really strong recently, but it's just a weather play here. So we have his minus 22% adjustment, minus 17% park adjustment. Quintana allows elite isolated slugging and elite weighted on base average to right-handed hitters, but he's pretty good at shutting down left-handed hitters, so that's something to watch with him. Zach Greinke of the Royals against the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. That's a pitcher worth targeting in DFS for sure. Greinke allowing a 230 isolated slugging, 366 weighted on base average to right-handed hitters. On his end of things here, Drew Hutchison with the Tigers is someone that we think is worth targeting. Mad Bum against the Padres. These are the four arms that our pitcher model thinks will perform the worst this evening, so they're worth targeting with bats. StatCast data. Really, really interesting profile here from Cole Irvin of the Oakland Athletics against Houston. These are definitely well below average numbers in the exit velocity and batted ball distance department that he is conceding. Anybody else that stands out? Looks like we have a very similar ranking to Irvin with Devin Smeltzer of the Twins against the White Sox. So it looks like the Astros and the White Sox would be a couple of high-risk opportunities that may stand out in our model outside of the Coors Field game. Now let's look at the stacks dashboard. The Pittsburgh Pirates, number one in the model. They're the underdog side of Coors Field tonight, so they may not be as popular as Colorado. Pirates are facing German Marquez, right-handed pitcher for the Colorado Rockies, and he has been struggling over the last year. Of his outings allows elite weighted on base average to hitters from either side of the plate and slightly better isolated slugging to righties. So that'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. We're projecting the Pirates to play 7 lefties tonight, so focusing on the lefty splits, 184 isolated slugging allowed, 360 weighted on base average. Marquez is probably someone that we want to be targeting with the Pirates this evening. Again, with this low, modest implied team total of 4.7 runs, I think the Pirates are a team that will be worth playing tonight that won't be as popular as their opposing Colorado Rockies, who have the second highest implied OF index score here of 61 in our model. That's the cumulative ranking of all the hitters in the model. Fourth highest weighted on base average of the entire day and the highest team total on the entire slate. You can expect Rockies hitters to be the ultimate chalk in contests this evening. Quintana, very, very good limiting lefties, lead weighted on base average and isolated slugging to right-handed hitters. Atlanta, Patrick Corbin is the opposing pitcher here. Patrick Corbin is very poor against right-handed hitters, 244 isolated slugging allowed, 393 weighted on base average. That's why the Atlanta Braves have the highest weighted on base average projection in our model this evening. We should be playing Braves hitters in low-risk contests. This means they have a very, very high floor tonight. The White Sox with the third highest weighted on base average. The Seattle Mariners with the fifth highest weighted on base average. A couple of other spots to consider, more so in low-risk contests for some upside of fantasy point production at the plate. Let's look at the Pirates a little closer because the reason I think it'll be hard to get away from them is we have this cheap opportunity to play highly ranked Pirates hitters and still have a ton of salary left over for top pitchers and some really nice secondary stack hitters. Only one player over $4,000 on DraftKings and no one more than $3,700 over on FanDuel. So the Pirates, very easy to get in your lineups this evening. So I like the Pirates quite a bit in high-risk contests tonight. Now, I did get both sides of the Coors Field game the most in an MME run using our lineup builder this afternoon. So the Rockies hitters are going to be worth considering as well. Again, Quintana is very good at limiting production from left-handed hitters, so focus on right-handed hitters in the Rockies lineup tonight. And this is a very right-handed hitter-heavy lineup from the Rockies that we're projecting, so it's not something you have to be super concerned with. Colorado hitters a lot more expensive than their Pittsburgh counterparts tonight, so just keep that in mind when you're building your lineups. I'm going to go with Alek Manoah against the minor league Kansas City Royals. I am going to play 5 Pittsburgh Pirates hitters. If I'm my way to a secondary stack, you can easily play somebody like Brandon Woodruff for the strikeout upside here. Most expensive pitcher on the slate. Still at 52.33 per player remaining. Pretty much a pick'em slate after that. Same idea here over on FanDuel. Manoah, 4 high upside. Pirates bats according to our model, 33.25 per player remaining. That's how I'm going to be playing DFS this Friday. Keep an eye out for the daily plug at DraftKings.com. That'll have our final picks for the entire slate for you. That'll be posted by about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to talk about MLB DFS until then, you can consider joining our Discord. There's a link to do so below the description of every video that we post on this channel. Thank you for watching. We'll be back on Monday with more MLB DFS.